Hey y'all, Jack with Castle Family Farms. Want to try to make a shorter video, so I've already done a lot of kind of work here in the bees. So what I'm doing, recall last time I put this box on, they hadn't moved up. This box, they have filled it. I'll try to get here. You can see that glisten down in there. That's all nectar that they are turning into honey. And there's 3-4 frames like that in here. And this is packed full. So what I've done is I've actually pulled some of those frames up into this other box, and I'm putting down in their places, I'm going to put empty frames, and just to give them space, let them draw comb, and she can start laying in it. They can use it for nectar, whatever they need, but basically they weren't using this box and I want them in this box, so I'm going to kind of force their hand. I've also put a brood comb up there just to make sure that they go. It's all capped, but they'll have to tend to it. And so I wanted to make sure that they got up there, and so that was my way of doing that. And I'm gonna put these down in here, these empty frames back in this box. And I'm gonna alternate between draw and comb, just so they kind of have a guide. Now I do level my hives, so I don't use foundation on my frames. And when you do that, you have to make sure your hives are level. Bees will hang, called stooning, and they use gravity when they draw comb. So if you've got an unlevel hive, you're going to get unlevel comb and you're going to get cross comb, and it can be a mess. And so if you use foundationless frames, you want to make sure that your hive is level, and this hive is level. All my hives are level. I'm kind of meticulous about that because I've had some bad situations arise. Now I have not looked down here, and I'm going to, just because even though they had space, I want to make sure that they're not in the swarm preparation. Like, I want to make sure that I don't see any swarm cells. And this is going to be kind of a quick, I'm going to look in the middle, I'm going to pull a frame, get myself some room to work. And this is just going to be a quick kind of frame by frame. And that one's loaded with pollen, which is good. We haven't quite hit our main flow yet. Blackberries have not popped, which is a good thing. It's about to get cold, and we're gonna have, I don't know, 7, 8, 10 days back down in the 60s, and they won't produce nectar at that. And blackberry is one of our big nectar producers for the year. They're close, they're budded. It's 85 today, and I hope they don't pop before it gets cold, and then when it gets warm again, they can flower and produce nectar, and we'll get a really nice honey crop. If not, then we won't get much blackberry honey, and we'll have to rely on other nectar sources, such as tulip poplar and clover. Clover's, of course, a big one. So there are eggs in this hive. I saw eggs when I was in that second box. So I know the queen's in here. I don't have to find her. I just want to make sure that I don't see any queen cells, queen cups, anything that might indicate swarming. They have backfilled this quite a bit with pollen. And so if she runs out of room, they'll start swarm preps, and I don't want that to happen. Just kind of point out the difference in bees here, because we got some nice drones on this frame. So you see all these smaller girls, these are all worker bees. And the bigger ones, the fatter ones, this one right here. Come back here. Got him. This one's a drone. Oh, there he goes. They're the males. They're bigger, fatter, plumper. Oh, she's laid down in there. And this was an empty frame I put in last time. You can tell how white the comb is, that's fresh wax that they've drawn, and she's laid it. Laid her full. And the fact that I haven't seen queen cups means I don't think I'm going to. I think if I was going to see them, they'd be on those middle frames there. And so I'm happy. We're in good shape here. And this is again a frame full of nectar, pollen. Oh, so yeah, this hive is in phenomenal shape, and got some cross comb over here. I'm gonna pull this out just to see where they had some space. So make sure I don't miss anything. Okay. And so honestly, I don't think I'm gonna do anything else. I think I'm just gonna shut them up, and I don't think they need the extra space just because they hadn't started drawing this top box out yet. So I'm not gonna go ahead. I got other boxes just in case I needed them. Like I said, I don't think that I'm gonna need them. So we're just gonna shut them up, and they look good. They'll move up because I pulled some frames up here. I was gonna show you what I did here. So my 10 frames, I've got 2 of them that are like this. This is all nectar, and this is a heavy, heavy, heavy frame. I don't know if you can see it glistening, but it's full. And actually, I'm gonna stagger these too. This is another fresh comb here. So I'm gonna pull an empty one, put in the middle here. Again, just to kind of give them a guide. This is the one that had brood on it that I pulled up, and it's all capped, it's hatching, and they can fill those cells back with nectar, and it won't be a big deal. Again, gonna stagger them. That's called something. It's a technical term. I can't remember. I don't think it's checkerboarding. I got Tennessee football in the brain. Anyways, if someone looks that up and realizes what it's called, let me know in the comments, because I've lost it. It's completely left me. I'm gonna check this other one right here. Now this other hive I want to split, dearly want to split it, and like soon. And I will show you all that when I get to it. With it turning cold, I don't want to do it. I want to wait till it's warmer, just because when I split them, they're going to get smaller, and I want them to have plenty of bee coverage. One of the biggest mistakes that I've made beekeeping: don't split your bees too much too soon, or too much in general, because they get spread out real thin, and they don't have enough resources. They get weak, they get robbed. You want strong colonies at all times. And my fear is if I split this too soon, something bad's gonna happen. I've got 2 hives. I'm okay if I split each of them once and go to 4. I'm not trying to get a gajillion hives this year. So biggest mistake I've made in the past is over splitting and then having weak hives and hives that weren't equipped to go in the winter, and then you lose more than what you wind up gaining. So this one last week I put a second box on, and they are kind of working this top box. There's a few bees here and there. There's a little bit of nectar up in here actually, so they're using it. But it's not their primary place of residence. And what I'm actually probably gonna wind up doing, the same thing I just did, is I'm gonna pull a frame of brood up, get them to start working this top box and expanding their nest. So basically when I do that, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get down here and I'm gonna pull a frame out of the middle. That's got brood, probably uncapped brood. I want eggs or larvae. I want something they have to work because that forces them to get in that box. And so I'm gonna go through and find that. And that's all I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna let them keep growing and we'll split them here in a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video off and get this done. It's getting a little windy. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'm gonna try really hard the next couple of days. We're gonna go around the homestead because lots happened. I've been really super busy, which I'll talk about later. But anyways, thanks for watching and we'll see you on the next one.